Well, we made it past Monday, so that must mean it's Tipsy Tuesday. Let's try to learn something, huh? Today I want to go over a concept called rolling shutter, which is something that is hard to truly describe. So if you remember last week, I talked a little bit about the readout on a camera sensor, how it goes line by line. And if your camera is kind of slow at that process when you're doing video or using electronic shutter, what you'll experience is something called rolling shutter. To me, it kind of looks like Jello is kind of the best way I could describe it. Rolling shutter is this funky little thing where if you are taking pictures of something that is straight, but you are moving fast or it is moving fast, then the line by line readout of your camera sensor, it's gonna start here and that's great. But as you move, it's gonna read here. And then you move a little bit more and then it's gonna read here. And what you get is a wonky. You get something that's supposed to be straight that isn't straight, because your sensor is slow. Does that make sense? It is unnerving, I think, when it's a video that has pretty severe rolling shutter, because we expect motion to happen a certain way when we're watching a video, and when it doesn't happen that way, it's a little uncanny valley. The human brain expects things to be a certain way when it's watching video. That's why there's a lot of rules around video and frame rates and this, that, the other. That's for Connor to explain and for me to vaguely allude to, though. So rolling shutter is especially bad when it comes to stills if you're using the silent shutter option on mirrorless cameras, or electronic shutter is what it's called. You really will see it if there's like propellers, because those are moving so stinking fast that your camera is gonna do such a poor job of taking an image of that propeller if it's an electronic shutter. I have some examples, okay? I made Allison wiggle a straight thing of wrapping paper and it doesn't look straight. Rolling shutter. The ways to combat rolling shutter are to have a camera with a fast readout, which is going to be those sports level cameras in each brand, like the Nikon Z8 and Z9, the Canon R3, the Sony A1 and brand new A9 III, Fujifilm X-H2S, the OM1, all of kind of the fast cameras that these brands have will do a really good job at mitigating rolling shutter, but you still might experience it in certain conditions. Now for stills, if you can, avoid taking pictures in electronic shutter. For if you're moving, if a subject's moving, use your mechanical shutter. That does mean that you have to be off silent shooting, so there is going to be a sound. The mechanical shutter is much better. It doesn't have to do the same readout thing. There are a lot of terms in the photography world that we know to be good or bad, but we don't always know exactly what it is at its core. I think rolling shutter is one of those things for a lot of people. We know rolling shutter equal bad. Not a lot of us know what a rolling shutter really looks like as an effect, unless of course you take pictures of helicopters for a living. Another thing I think a lot of people know to be like conceptually bad is focus breathing, and that is a subject for another week. Rolling shutter looks like it caught one of those inflatable car dealership dudes at like a weird pose.